Cain's fear and the mystery of the first family. In the beginning there was Adam and Eve, the first man and woman. From them came Cain and Abel. And after Cain slew his brother, he said, "My punishment is greater than I can bear. Whoever finds me will kill me." But who were they? Who was out there? And when Cain later married, who was his wife? If Eve was the only woman, then who did they marry? Have you ever paused on these verses and wondered what's missing? Did the Bible skip something? Or is the answer hidden in plain sight? Could God have left certain things unsaid to make us seek understanding deeper than surface curiosity? Genesis 5 verse 4 says, Adam lived 930 years, and he had sons and daughters. That means the first family grew, far more than just Cain and Abel. They had many sons and many daughters across centuries. Cain's fear could easily have been of his own relatives, nephews, cousins, or brothers yet to be born. How many children could a man and woman have in 9 centuries? Could hundreds, even thousands, have come from the first pair? Does that change how we picture the early world? Not a quiet garden, but a growing civilization? Does the Bible's silence on names mean they didn't exist, or simply that their names were not essential to the story of redemption? Cain feared being killed. That fear implies community. That fear implies conscience. Was his fear just about others or about facing justice? Could guilt make him imagine enemies in every shadow? Does sin make us afraid even when no one is chasing us? Have you ever done something that made you fear being found out, even when no one knew? Maybe Cain's fear was not only of people, but of punishment. The fear of meeting the mirror of his own actions. God said to him, "Not so. Whoever kills Cain, vengeance shall be taken sevenfold." And God set a mark upon him, so no one would kill him. Why would God protect the one who spilled innocent blood? Is that not mercy in its earliest form? Can you see grace even in judgment? When you fall, do you expect wrath, or do you remember the mark of mercy? Does God mark us for destruction, or mark us for redemption? The mark of Cain wasn't for shame, it was for preservation. A sign that even the fallen remain seen by God. Then Scripture says, "And Cain knew his wife, and she conceived and bore Enoch." Genesis 4 verse 17. But again, who is she? If Eve was the first woman, how did Cain find a wife? The simple answer, she was likely his sister, or possibly a niece born generations later. At that time, the human bloodline was still pure, uncorrupted by mutation or decay. Marriage among close kin was not yet forbidden. That law came much later, through Moses. Does that sound strange to us because we see it through modern laws? Could the early generations have functioned under a different purity and order? Do we question what God allowed, or seek to understand why He allowed it then? Is it possible that what seems impossible to us was perfectly natural in Eden's immediate world? Cain built a city. A city requires people, families, workers, builders, children. This wasn't an empty wilderness. Humanity had begun to multiply. Could this be how civilization itself began, from family to tribe to city? When God told Adam and Eve, "Be fruitful and multiply," do we underestimate how quickly that command took root? If one generation can fill a house, how many could fill the earth in centuries? We often forget how long these lives were, how much growth one man's line could achieve. But perhaps the story isn't only about genealogy. Perhaps it's about something deeper, about guilt, fear, and divine mercy. Cain's fear shows the restlessness of sin. His mark shows the persistence of grace. Does guilt still make us run from God's presence today? Have we ever feared the consequences of our actions more than the separation they cause from God? Do we still live like Cain, building cities of distraction to hide from the weight of our own choices? And yet, even as Cain ran, God still spoke. Grace still followed. The Bible names only a few: Adam, Eve, Cain, Abel, Seth. But there were many unnamed sons and daughters. God's focus is not on every human born, but on the story of redemption. Could the silences of Scripture be divine invitations to faith? Does God reveal what matters for salvation, not curiosity? Are we too focused on how humanity grew and not enough on why God still cared? Perhaps the question isn't, who was Cain afraid of? But, what does fear reveal about man's heart after the fall? From the first family comes every pattern of human life: love and jealousy, birth and death, mercy and punishment. Is Cain's story a mirror of our own? When we fall, do we hide? When we're found, do we fear others or fear God? Can a marked man still find purpose? Cain was marked, but not erased. Banished, but not abandoned. Punished, yet protected. Even in his exile, God remained aware of him. So yes, Adam and Eve were the first. Their children multiplied. Cain feared his own kind. He married within that expanding family. But the greater story is not about numbers. It's about the heart of man and the heart of God. When you are guilty, who do you fear will find you? When you are ashamed, who do you think will still love you? Do you know that the same God who marked Cain in mercy marks you with grace? Could it be that the story of the first family is the story of every family? Broken, but seen fallen, yet loved? The mark of Cain was not the end of man. It was the beginning of mercy.